Everyone, namaste, good evening, and very good day to everyone. I am Dilshad Siddiqa from Sri Lanka. Today, I have the honor of serving as your host on behalf of the International Association for Quality Education and the Ministry of Education, Uva Province, Sri Lanka. The International Professional Development Program for Educators is a joint educational endeavor by the International Association for Quality Education and the Ministry of Education, Uva Province, Sri Lanka, in collaboration with universities, organizations, schools, and educational leaders from the global community. First of all, I would like to welcome Dr. Rashmi Tyagi ma'am, the Sri Lankan Education Ambassador, before we begin today's session. Namaste ma'am. We want to honor her contributions to the success of this International Professional Development Program. It's my great pleasure to welcome our esteemed speaker for today's session, Dr. Sudhakar Umali. Namaste, sir. He's a
Namaste.
professor He is a professor in the Department of Mechanical and Manufacturing Engineering in Thakur College of Engineering and Technology, Mumbai, India. Dr. Umali brings with him a wealth knowledge and experience in the field of engineering, education, and research, and we are truly privileged to have him with us today. He will be delivering a lecture series on fundamentals of research studies. Today, he will be discussing on techniques for writing good research paper and thesis, part 2. Dr. Umali sir, we are delighted to have you with us. Namaste. On
Namaste.
behalf of the Education and International Association for Quality Education and Ministry of Education of Goa Province, I warmly welcome you to the session and invite you to start your session, sir. Sir, over to you.
Shall I share my
Yes, sir.
presentation?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Before start of writing, you must understand introduction of the thesis. Already I have explained it in the chapter 1, but during compiling your thesis, these questions are very important for compilations for good impact. Just you read this question and answer yourself. What is the first question? What is objective of the study? This question is very important. Second question is, why is this research being conducted by you? Just you answer it. If you are not able to answer it, then it is very difficult to write everything. Who is likely to be interested in it? If you are doing research in biology, in physics, in science, mathematics, engineering, the people like-minded are interested in your work. What is the hypothesis or research problem? You have to answer it. What are your hypothesis and research problem? If you are unable to answer it, you cannot understand what is your research. What are the potential applications of the research? Just to answer it. Can you, anybody answer me this question? If you are listening my lecture, can you unmute and answer this? What are the potential application of the research? Anybody?
Yes, sir.
Can you?
So I will.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
What are the potential applications of the research?
Sir, our research questions and then to move on from there, sir.
So this potential application decides the importance of your research. Understood?
Okay, sir.
Because your research is very important for the industries, societies, and future researchers. And hence it is very important to explain and you have to understand the potential applications of your research.
Sir, education also, like
Education,
you are
yes, yes.
educated.
Education
sir,
also.
Could you ask them whether they have understood the hypothesis? Because you'll explain better.
Okay, hypothesis is the research question that you decide for your research work. Let us say in biology or in physics, then let us say we have to give the importance of Newton's law, third law of Newton's. Then this is in physics. You have to, if you are doing the research on a particular area, you are preparing the assumptions.
Right, right. Very good.
Assumptions.
Yeah.
Because assumptions are starting of your work. When you teach in the classroom as a teacher, you are saying to the students, what you are assuming like this. Means when we do the research, you are assuming that these are the assumed question for my research work. Then you are preparing that list of your research problems or hypotheses, and you are preparing one by one, and you are searching literature review on that basis. You got it now? Yes? Can I go further? Any issue? You got the fourth and fifth questions? Can I start sixth question? Yes, anybody?
Yes,
Can
sir.
Okay. Sixth question is very important for you. Many researchers or PhD candidates do not know what is main focus of the study. They are doing as per their supervisor or guide. They are reading so many literatures, but they cannot find what is their focus. If you are unable to find your focus, how do you complete your research work? And hence, you have to answer this question very clearly. What is the main focus of my study? Are you getting it? Shall I start new slide presentation? Is any question here for this question? If you understand these 6 questions, definitely you are able to write and understand your research work. The emphasis should be placed on the central chapters. You have to understand the emphasis, what you get from 6 questions, the emphasis of your work, and that emphasis should be placed on the central chapters so that you are able to write it confirmly. What is meant by thesis? Thesis is a story of your work. Now when I want to write any Muhi theory, Muhi story, then you have to write thesis as a storytelling. You are telling your story of your work is in such a way that anybody can understand your thesis work, and hence you must understand what is my beginning of my writing, and hence I want to suggest you make 3 parts of your research writing. What is my beginning writing? That is the first part. What is my middle writing? That is the second part. And what is my end writing? And beginning is the previous research work story, and end is the conclusion part. And what is representing middle portion? Middle is representing the core of your research work. And hence, my suggestion is that after understanding 6 questions, the introduction should be concise, and in some chapter it is very difficult to complete that writing and hence you are using appendices. Appendices are using after references, so that if somebody wants your mathematical answers, your research tables, that can be added in the appendices very clearly. PhD students also must explain how their research makes an original contribution to the body of knowledge in their discipline. They also should address the significance of the study for mass communication education. It is especially critical that this chapter be well developed. Without a clearly defined purpose and a firm theoretical grounding, the thesis or dissertation is fundamentally flawed. PhD students must also explain how their research makes original. If your research work is not original, then somebody will say that your research is fake, and hence you have to focus on each chapters, showing a very clear purpose. Yes, you got it. And this clear purpose is very important. And I want to explain now a systematic approach to literature review. What is difficult? Writing literature review. This is the very difficult topic. A literature review is not just summary of existing studies. It is a critical, structured, and scientific discussion of what has already been done in your area of research, what is missing, and how your study will contribute that missing work. Writing it effectively requires your skill, your clarity, and logical organizations of literature review. This section provides the reader with a broad understanding of the research already conducted in your area and demonstrates how your work differs from previous studies. It is important to include as many relevant papers as possible. However, simply increasing the number of references without adding value to your discussion is not meaningful. Many researchers are adding number of research references. That is not meaningful. Whether that relevant paper is suitable for your work or not, you have to check it. Studies that directly support your work should be highlighted. If some papers are very important for you, that studies may be highlighted very clearly. And hence, during the starting of literature review, we have to understand some questions. You have to write some question before start of literature review, and you have to answer it. I am asking that question to you. If you are able to answer it, then I understand that you have listened my lecture very carefully. What is the first question? What have others said, written, or researched about your topic? What is my question? What have others said? What have others written, or what have others researched about your topic? You have to answer it. Second question is that which theories provide insight into your topic? Third question is very important. How does the existing literature relate to your research questions? Third question is very important. How does the existing literature relate to your research questions? Now, I will take 5 minutes. Literature review describes and analyzes previous research on the topic. This chapter should not simply compile or summarize what other researchers have found. Instead, it should critically discuss and evaluate the existing body of knowledge with the ultimate goal of identifying what is known and what remains unknown about your topic. A literature review presents the existing body of knowledge and highlights both the strengths and weaknesses of past findings. You must understand what are the strengths of previous literatures, what are the weaknesses of past findings. It shows what is already known to researchers and where uncertainties remain. Importantly, the weaknesses and limitation in previous studies provide opportunities for further research. From these weaknesses, researchers can identify research gaps, research areas where new insights, deeper analysis, or better methods are required. There are so many research gaps: population gap, analysis gap, implication gap, method gap, concept gap, perspective gaps, theory gaps, methodology gaps. These are the research gaps. Because of time limit, I am not able to explain here different type of research gaps you are searching, and you must focus on the what is unknown and what is known, and we have to encounter inconsistency, controversies, conflicts, and contradiction within the literatures. By critically analyzing all these things, a conceptual framework can be developed and then refined into a new theoretical framework that advances knowledge in your field. Then you can understand that you have written your research work or thesis in a very systematic manner. Now come to the very important area. Now I have given so many things to you. Later on, we come to the very difficult part of thesis writing or research paper writing, that is problem statement. Many candidates are finding this topic very difficult. We have to write 8 to 7 problem statements on the basis of a literature review. I want to explain this topic, that is problem statement, in detail. You take any topic and you start to write problem statement. What we require for problem statements? Problem statements, research questions, hypotheses, and study contributions are essential for PhD candidates. Without problem statement, research questions, hypotheses, study contributions, you are not able to complete your PhD. Clearly and carefully explain the exact problems to be investigated. Now from the literature review, you are able to investigate so many things, and from that so many things, we are able to write the exam problem statement. Now this question is very important. Here I have written here, are you aiming to generate new knowledge? Because old knowledge are available in the real world, in the books, in other research. What we are doing, and you have to answer this question, are you aiming to generate new knowledge? Specify what sources and methods you will use during your investigation. This is very important for problem statement. I want to give some components how to write problem statements from the literature review very clearly. These are the 4 components. I have written the title, drafting the problem statement using 4 components. What are the 4 components? You have to identify current situation, because the PhD thesis or your research work should be always not in the past, in the present, and hence you are searching current, what is current situation of my topic, of my area, and that current situation provide a brief background of your topic. You have to understand. If you are not able to understand current situation, then you are not able to write the problem statements. Second component is research gap or research challenge. You must understand research gap and research challenge. What is meaning of research gap or challenge? You have to identify what is missing, what is unclear, or what is problematic in the world. That become your problem statements. Now come to the third components of problem statements, that is significance. If I am getting what is missing, what is unclear or problematic, I have to write why it is addressing, why there is a problem. Explain why addressing this problem matters. That is your significance. Now, the fourth component is aim. Aim of your study. That is the fourth component of problem statement. Without aim, now what is meaning of aim? State what your research intends to achieve. You have to explain in the problem statement that after getting my research work, what I achieve. Now these 4 components are helpful for writing problem statements in your thesis or in your research work. Now I come to very detail, because this topic is very important. What is the question I want to explain in the current situation? Just to understand my question, what is already known in your area of research? This question is very important for you. What is already known in your area of research? Second question is that, what is the present context related to theories, practices, trends, or existing studies? You have to find out what is the present on these. Let us say I want to explain one example for you. What is the current situation? Recent studies have explored the role of digital media in shaping public opinion. This is very current situation. Author is writing about the digital media because digital media is very unknown to all, and hence this is the current situation. You got it? Now come to the research gap. You have to create the question on this. What is the first question for research gap or research challenge? What has not been adequately studied or explained? Listen my question again. What has not been adequately studied or explained? You have to answer it. Then you are able to find out your research gap. Second question is very important. Where do contradictions, limitations, or unresolved issues appear in existing literature? If yes, now I want to give one example to you for writing problem statement. That statement is, however, little research has examined how these influences differ across cultural context. So this may be the problem statement. Now come to the significance. Again, significance requires some questions that will guide you. What are that questions? What contribution will it make to the body of knowledge? If you answer this question, definitely you are able to find missing and unclear area. That is your problem statement. Second question is very important. How will it benefit theory, practice, policy, or education? I want to explain the significance. One example I want to give. Understanding this gap is critical for developing effective communication strategies in globalized media environments. This is new for researchers, and hence in that research you have to explain effective communication strategies in digital media. Just I have given example for you. That is the significance. Come to the last part, that is aim. Again, I want to explain some of the questions for getting correct aim. What will your study attempt to do? If you want to do, then what to do? It explore, test, explain, design, validate. These are the Bloom's taxonomy in the pedagogy. We are using the Bloom taxonomy to identify the problem statement. What is exploring? To explore. To explore must come in the problem statement. To test, to explain, to design, to validate, like this. This way, you can find out your aim with respect to problem statement. Now, we'll come to the conclusion, how to frame objectives of the PhD thesis. Now, after understanding all these 4 components, you are trying to frame your objectives, 8 to 9 objectives in the PhD thesis. Framing the objectives of your PhD thesis is one of the most critical steps in structuring your research. The objectives serve as the compass of your study. They define its directions, clarify its scope, and establish measurable goals. And hence, always remember, during framing objectives, these objectives begin with action oriented, means you are taking some action for framing your objectives. That objectives must be measurable verbs. I want to explain some of the measurable verbs. According to the Bloom's taxonomy, these common words must include in the objectives of your PhD thesis. What are the important objectives? These are the verbs we have to start: to design, to develop, to implement, to analyze, to test, to validate, to demonstrate, to evaluate, and to optimize. From each verb, you are able to write one objective. How many words I have written here? Can you answer me? How many words here and how many objectives can be written from this? At least 9, you know? Are you able to write 9 objectives? Yes or no? Can anybody can clear me by using design? Can you able to write one objective? Anybody? By using verb design, can anybody can write one objective? Anybody? Please unmute and give me the answer of this. Can, or you can take any verb and you have to develop one objective, one statement for this by using design, develop, implement. Somebody has written one. Okay. Now I want to explain some of the objectives here. Just I want to give some sample examples for writing objectives. Let us say this is the aim of your project, real-time IoT system for lightning detection and critical infrastructure safety. So you are doing PhD in this area. Your title is this. How to find out objectives? How to find out anybody? This is this is your title, aim of the project. How do you write objective by using taxonomy? I am not able to see the chat box.
Sir, Shazna Rafi has written to analyze the effectiveness of modern teaching methods in literacy and reading skill acquisition.
Okay, correct, correct. So this way you are preparing. Just I am giving examples, and by using 9 verbs, you are able to write the objectives. Now I am giving practice for writing objectives. Yes, okay. Now this is a title for your work. Now I am preparing 5 objectives by using all this. Just you see, I have used 2 verbs together. First word is design, second word is develop. And hence, what is my first objective? To design and develop an IoT based system for real-time lightning detection around critical infrastructure. This is one objective. I use 2 verbs. Second objective is that to implement an event trigger mechanism that generates instant alerts upon lightning detection. Now, third is that to integrate. I use here integrate. To integrate reliable communication channels using cellular or technologies for alert transmission. Now, in next objective, I have used 2 verbs. To test and validate the system's detection accuracy and alert response time under controlled conditions. Now, second, to enhance infrastructure, I have used enhance. To enhance infrastructure safety by providing early warnings that enable preventing actions. You can select your area, education or science, mathematics, chemistry, physics, then you have to prepare at least 9 objectives. That is your homework for you. How to understand why we are using these objectives in the thesis writing or in the research area. So through these objectives, we are trying to develop something. What do we want to develop? That is a technical development. One thing is available. What I am adding new thing, and my aim is technical development. What I want to do there? Design and build the proposed system or framework. This is my work according to my technical development. This is my work, design and build the proposed system or framework. What is why we require the objectives? Because it gives functional implementation. How that system works means functional implementation ensure the system works effectively in practice. Third is performance. We are evaluating some work by doing experimentation and performing operation. That is my performance evaluation. What I get in my PhD result? Test and validate system performance. I have to test it, I have to validate it, whether it is correct or not. If it is correct, then I say it is validate. My test is validated, and hence my performance is good. Then application and impact. Whether that objective is applicable to industries or societies or even work. What is the impact of your objectives? You have to check. It means that you have to demonstrate its relevance. Some work is not relevant, some work is relevant, some work is practical, some is not practical. And hence, in this way, you are measuring relevance of your work and practical usefulness of your research work. Any question? Okay. We have to start. I am giving 3 questions to you for research methodology. Are you able to answer it? Anybody? How will you approach the empirical work? What methods and techniques have you chosen and why? What samples, tests, observations, and measurements will be required? You got these 3 questions? Anybody? If you are answering, then you can understand all these things. Are you able to understand and write this question? What is the answer of first question? Anybody? You can write in chat box also. Okay, nothing is in the chat box. Nobody is answering. You try to actually, because you have to solve all these things in the given assignments. Okay, these 3 questions are very important. You note down it and start writing. Now it is very important what is written in this research design. Okay, so somebody has written research design. The answer is it is answer for how will you approach the empirical work. Is correct. From empirical work can be done by research design. data collection and sampling. Okay. I will select the required samples, test, observations, and measurements to get accurate results. Yes, correct. So this is our question. This is answer of second question. No. What about third? What samples, test, observation is answer of third. I will select the required samples, test, observations. Okay. Now it means that somebody is answering and you are getting this. Now come to the, if you are able to answer it, these are the answers. Now provide a complete justification for the chosen research approach when required. Are you able to justify your answer that somebody has written in the chat box? After selection, you have to justify your action in the research work. Research design, somebody has told research design. So what is justification for your research design, your research approach? So if you are not able to justify that, it means that I will methodology. I will observe children methodology. Okay, correct. Then you have to give the justification for it. You have to give the justifications. So you prepare justification for your questions, your answers. Now, how to provide the justifications? I have given how to address justification. Overall style of your research, you have to justify actual techniques to be used within your work. If you are using new techniques, let us say sampling techniques. Let us say in the education system, research problem regarding the development of the students, behavior of the students. Okay, how to improve the behavior of the students in the classroom? That may be the one method. Then you have to justify, and if you are selecting that, you have to justify. Methodology is correct, but you have to mention the methodology. You have to justify that methodology as a justification. Okay. So actual techniques to be used within your work must be explained. Now come to the research. Overall research style describe. I will explain this. What is meant by overall style of the research? We have to think on overall style of your research. Why research overall style must be decided? It describes and justify the overreaching approach. Okay, your approach is very clear, whether it may be quantitative, whether it may be qualitative, or whether it is mixed methods. And somebody has mentioned that is research designs. Okay, somebody has mentioned research design, but they have not mentioned the research design. Okay, we have in the research design, we have to explain the exploratory methods, descriptive methods, explanatory methods, evaluative methods, like that, and that is the research design. And explain that you have chosen with your research aims and questions. Somebody has here mentioned here quasi research, quasi experimental design, key results, and are you able to explain that with your research aims and research questions? If answer is yes, then you confirm that your research style is correct. Yes or no? Your research style is correct. So I have explained this is for research. Now I have explained some techniques. I want to explain some techniques, actual techniques. Your research work may be actual. Your contribution must be actual. And hence, we have to use sampling strategy or data collection instruments. If your PhD work is based on surveys conducted by candidate, interviews conducted by the candidate, or some techniques are related to experiments. You are doing experiments. You are doing some simulations. So this is our data collection. This is our data collection. That is actual technique. Now another technique is that analysis method. What analysis methods, techniques can be used? Statistical test, thematic analysis, computational models. In some way, you are using the software. If you are working with your softwares, you have to justify why you are using that softwares, why you are using that tools for your research work. If you are not able to answer it, then you are not justifying your work. For each technique, explain why it is appropriate and how it contributes to validate your work. All or how you give the reliability, means it should be reliable. Data must be reliable. Data must be ethical. If you are taking copy paste data, it is not allowed. It is not ethical. It is not ethical practice. Okay. Now come to data gathering and analysis process. I want to explain this, very important, because you are able to justifying each and everything. In what way you are justifying? When you are collecting data and you are doing analysis of data, the content of each section will vary according to chosen methods, chosen analysis technique, and hence you have to describe your research design. Are you getting it? You have to describe your research design, which explains the overall approach of your study, which explain overall approach of your study, overall structure of your study. And after that, you have to write 1 or 2 pages of justifications of your work. Justification of your work describe the type of sample used, type of methods used, type of observation used, and after last, you have to explain why all these approaches for your research, why your approaches are appropriate for your research. Next, come to another techniques, development of instruments or methods for making observations. Let us say if you are using any tool, any software, any experiment, any procedure to collect data, then you have to explain clearly why I have used that instruments, why I have used that methods for making observations. Now you have to analyze that collecting data. What data you are collected? That is statistical data, computational data, qualitative data. And you have to explain these methods you have used and you have to answer why these methods are appropriate for addressing your research question. Now, after research analysis, after justifications, we come to the data analysis. For getting clear idea about data analysis, we have to answer this question. What data have you collected? Means you. What data have you collected? You have to answer this question. How do you interpret this data? Do the results support or refute your hypothesis? Okay, so this question must be answered. If anybody answer it, then it is okay. Do practice of it for your research work. Already this content I have taken already. Now I want to explain regarding last topic of why this result and discussion topic is so important. In short, this chapter presents the results of your data analysis only. It should not include discussion of other research literatures or broader implications of your findings. You may analyze the test conducted during your experiments and discuss the factor responsible for the results obtained. You should prepare appropriate tables and figures to illustrate and summarize your tables, results, or informations. Your research work can be categorized in both qualitative and quantitatively. In the discussion section, explain what your findings or results mean in relation to the theoretical body of knowledge on your project topic. Begin by interpreting your results within the context of the theoretical framework introduced in the literature review. In some cases, particularly in qualitative research, you may need to introduce relevant new literatures. In the discussion section, you can address the future research requirements suggested by your findings and highlight the practical implications of your work. Additionally, you should mention how your work contributes to the development of engineering education or higher education or primary educations or benefits industry practices. Now, what is important? A good quality thesis typically takes about 10 to 12 months to complete for writing. You should carefully edit and spell check your written work. There are two types of thesis editing. One is micro editing and macro editing. I want to explain micro editing of thesis. It means small mistakes can be identified after so many revisions of reading. Now, what do you mean by micro editing? And it involves correcting spelling errors, correcting grammatical errors, checking paragraph structures and coherence, reviewing sentence structure for clarity, ensuring consistent use of terms, maintaining variety in word choice. So this is about small mistakes you can edit, and this editing is called as macro editing. Now, what is macro? Macro is very large, bundle mistake. Now this involves editing or assessing the overall structure of thesis. Each editing or assessing the overall structure of thesis, ensuring that each chapter flows logically from the previous one with headings and subheadings used correctly and consistently. Determine whether any parts of the thesis need to be streamlined, expanded, or recognized for clarity and coherence. Now I want to summarize all these things. Presenting conclusions and recommendations. Many PhD candidates make the mistake of repeating their results in the conclusion sections. Instead, the results should be briefly summarized and directly related to the hypothesis or research questions. Now, before concluding, ending of your thesis writing, you have to ask 3 questions and you have to answer it. How can I summarize my work? What actions or recommendations can be made based on my findings? To what extent was the research successful? Because your research is very successful, then you can satisfy. The last question is very important. If answer is yes, then you are satisfied. Provide concise summary of the entire thesis in few pages. The conclusion should be connected to the literature review, showing how your work contributes to and extend existing knowledge. Additionally, include suggestions for future research that build naturally on your findings, and you can write one chapter also after conclusions, that is future work. So that in that future work you can suggest something new and that follow by the another researchers. Now you have to write the references. Reference section is very important. So for providing citations, references must be there. There are some references. There are some style of references. And we have to use some standard references. For that you can use some softwares for this, some reference managers which minimize errors during writing your references. If references are prepared manually, ensure that none of the sources cited in the thesis are omitted from the reference list. It means that if you have taken some portion from literatures and it is written but it is not referred or cited in the reference list, then it is wrong. If you are using books, journals, papers, other resources may be available, you have to include all. On an average, a thesis typically contains more than 100 references. References can be written in this form: name of the author, full title, like this. If I will not explain, but it is visible to you, you have to write according to this. So reference writing is very important. Later on you have to write appendix. If you are not able to add your additional research work, sometimes that additional research work is not required for readers, that may be added after conclusions in the form of appendix 1, appendix 2, appendix 3, like that. And if it is not necessary, it is not compulsory, if your work is too large, it can be mentioned in the appendix. If reader wants to read it, he can understand very well. Now you have to take care during writing. Grammatical, spelling check, grammar check, tools. Today there are so many tools available, softwares available. They can check your grammar mistakes. They can check your spelling mistakes. They can check your all these things. Many times, if you are using images from any books or any research papers, sometimes that images are not quality images. Don't use that. You have to use the high quality images in your research work. That quality images must be labeled and give the appropriate captions. Decide on good formatting style. According to your university, you have to use good formatting style, and that formatting style consistently used throughout your thesis. This will improve readability and increase the likelihood of thesis being accepted. It means that if you are following all these things, your thesis should be accepted by the reviewer and you can complete your PhD in time. Write your PhD thesis in clear and simple manner so that even non-specialist reader can understand your work. You have to develop some technical skills during writing because thesis must be precise and it should be right in scientific way. You have to use methodology clear, systematically. You have to use each and every step in simple manner and understandable manners. When writing your thesis, you must clearly explain the skills required to carry out the research. Ensure that you identify and review the necessary literature to support your study. Do not make assumptions, provide evidence and justification for all statements. If you are making your own assumptions, already I have explained you have to provide justifications and evidence from where you have chosen that sentences. Your work should include both qualitative and quantitative aspects. Select your study area carefully and appropriately align with your research objectives. You have to focus on objectives and research questions. Then organize each and every chapter simple manners, providing clear purpose, and it should be right logical flow, and you have to explain each and everything. General understanding during writing: list the collected data and arrange it properly. Sort the data according to your area of work. Interpret and analyze the collected data accurately. Present the investigation carried out. You have to define the theme, use, purpose, and main objective of your research. Formulate your precise hypothesis for scientific investigations. Don't use avoid wrong word in your thesis, like have a look at, try to see. These are ambiguity statements, and hence you have to use clear and positive tone throughout your research writing. So aim of research must be written very clearly, and plagiarism, already I have explained. According to the universities, you have to check the plagiarism and you have to submit the plagiarism report to the university, and it should be attached at the end of your thesis. Now proofreading is very important. Last, what is missing, what is not missing, computer mistake, manual mistakes, writing number pages, figure pages, and all these things which are very important. It should be, you have to read all this introduction topic, literature review topic, methodology topic very carefully, and appendix writing must be clearly, and you have to do your layout of thesis. In what way you are doing layout of thesis? Sometimes I will provide the detail of it. It is very complicated, and this way we stop here. Now, if you have any questions, we will discuss. I have completed, in short, I have explained it. Any questions to you?
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for your valuable lecture. And we would like to invite all the teachers to present their research proposals in front of Dr. Umali sir, so that you can get a clear feedback. Before Sri Lankan teachers getting ready, I would like to invite our Rashmi Tyagi ma'am, in the Sri Lankan Education Ambassador, to speak a few words. Madam, over to you. Namaste. Rashmi Tyagi ma'am.
Namaskar.
Namaskar ma'am.
And good evening, a very good evening to all of you. And I'm mesmerized today. Sir has given such a wonderful explanation of all the research, whatever is required for writing a research paper. It was comprehensive and it was informative and it was to the point. And he has encompassed all the disciplines in general. He was mentioning at those places that in education you can do that. So for me, it was a recall of how we have written our thesis. And thesis is also a research work, all of you know. So now sir is explaining you that the topic is how to write a research paper. But he's telling you how to do the research. Research paper is one document, but doing a research means compilation of many discoveries, whatever you are doing to, just justify the topic you have chosen. And because you are in education, most of you, I would like to know if anybody is from a different discipline. You can raise your hand. Who is not from education and he's from some other discipline, and which discipline? Can you say that, or you can write? Sir, can we ask them if it is a different discipline? I think all are from education. I take it as all are from education. So now, sir, we will give opportunity to the teachers to talk about their paper writing. Please, all of you, the platform is yours. Thank you very much. You are welcome, all the teachers.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Yeah, Sri Lankan teachers, you are invited to present the paper, research proposal, and also we would like to invite you all to do a research and get ready to present it on upcoming conference. So all the teachers are invited to write a research paper, and you all can present it on the upcoming conference. So any teachers, if you have the research proposal, you can present it now and can get feedback and ideas from Dr. Umari sir and also Rashmi Tyagi ma'am.
I'm grateful for the opportunity to present the research paper. This was done by our group, Stage 2, Level 2, and I am Ruzna Isadeen from Central Province, Sri Lanka. So our group members who did this research was Hamda, Divini Bhagya, Ruzna myself, and Shafrina. So the proposal research was investigation the impact of project-based learning on students' engagement and motivation in kindergarten. So our research topic was investigating the impact of project-based learning, that is a PBL, on students' engagement and motivation in kindergarten education. So it's a comprehensive study with STEAM-based kindergarten. So the PBL is an innovative instructional approach that has shown promises to improve students' engagement and motivation. So this study aims to investigate the effectiveness of PBL in kindergarten education, a critical period in a child's education journey. So our research gaps was, despite the growing interest in PBL, there is a need for more research on its effectiveness in kindergarten education, particularly in context with the STEAM-based learning. So objective was to investigate the impact of PBL on students' engagement and motivation in kindergarten education. And the other objective was to compare the effectiveness of PBL with traditional teaching methods in promoting students' engagement and motivation, and also to identify the benefits and challenges of implementing PBL in kindergarten education. The problem statement was kindergarten education often focus on traditional teaching methods that may not sufficient to develop the skills required for success in 21st century. So the study aims to investigate the effectiveness of PBL in promoting students' engagement and motivating in kindergarten education. So the literature section strategy was conduct a comprehensive search of academic database. So we took the help from YouTube and STEAM Facebook page and also from the Google Scholar. So the PBL kindergarten education student engage motivation STEAM-based learning. So studies that investigate the effectiveness of PBL in kindergarten education, particularly in the context of STEAM-based learning. So we always implemented the STEAM-based learning. So the methodology was mixed method approach, combining both qualitative and quantitative data collection and analyzing methods. So the kindergarten students and STEAM-based teachers were engaging in this. So the data collection we took from social media, and also we did some observation and did some interviews. So by investigating the impact of PBL on students' engagement and motivation in kindergarten education, this study aims to provide insights into the effectiveness of the instructional approach, and also to inform educators and policymakers about best practice for implementing PBL in kindergarten education. Thank you, sir. So this was the small proposal. We did it by group, and I think this is our first research paper.
You can
Thank you,
add
sir.
a flip room, flip classroom. What do you mean flip classroom? Do you know?
Sorry, sir.
Flip classroom, flip FLIPLD, flip
Sir,
classroom.
your voice is not clear. Please say loudly.
So it is the combination of you can develop the combination of classes in such a
Okay,
way
sir.
that
Okay, sir.
that can be computer based.
It is for the pre-primary classes, sir.
Ha,
KG classes, kindergarten.
I am telling the games there no through the
Yeah,
video,
yeah.
through the
Games.
videos, games, then other activities also through YouTube's. You have to prepare some games by your own.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so that may be the one of the objective of this.
Objective.
That is called split classrooms, digital as well as manual teaching. Okay.
Manual teaching. Okay, sir.
So to improve the quality of students, you can have the number counting also. That may be the one of the objective. Number counting, how to use the correct word. Okay. If you have given something new, and they will select a word for that. Okay. Let us say,
Okay.
what is the difference between write and read? They can understand by activities. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So these activities can be developed for kindergartens because that they are not aware of identifying different types of fruits available in the market. If you show actual apple to them, they can understand this is apple. So like this. So don't draw the figure by visualizations and showing the actual uh, figures, actual objects. They can identify the each and everything. So they can understand. Okay, that is a project to identify different types of fruits. Yes, yes or no?
Okay. Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
such
sir.
approach.
I want to salute Sudhakar sir, who is teaching and doing research at the highest level. And so, nicely he has come to the induction level, that is KG level. and he has really explained it so well. And secondly, I will add, Mr. Muhammad Rashid has written gamification. Sudhakar sir has suggested the gamification at the KG level. And I will talk about the methodology which you have used. See, you have not, have you done literature survey? Because I know that in other foreign countries, even PhD is granted for the KG teachers or headmistress. And the doctorate people, like ladies or gents, they are teaching the kindergarten after doing the research. So all of us should do the research. Then in that case, you have to do the little bit of literature survey. What is happening in Australia? What is happening in New Zealand? Are they writing paper on this particular topic? So literature survey, as Mr. Umale has always told you, then you will come to know what is happening in other countries. And in methodology, you can use the survey method also. Like you can telephonically, or nowadays we are talking, this way also to the school teachers, KG school teachers of the other country. Like I have done this kind of a work for my educational paper, that I took feedback from teachers in Australia, in Turkey. So 2-3 countries, I have asked them the methodology, what they are using, and then I have made. So the literature survey is also done, and the methodology, that by contacting these people from other countries, survey method, you came to a methodology which is very much, now everybody knows in the world. Like somebody said, gamification, and then you can have a fancy dress. And then, as Umali sir has told you, bring the fruits and eatables to your class. Why don't you invite the parents? You can write it in the paper that this methodology you have used, and then you can say that you have applied it in your class, and the graph of the children knowledge and their enjoyment and their motivation has gone to that extent, pre and post. So when you add a pre and post studies to your uh, paper, or your thesis, it adds value. So that much only I can say about this.
So, madam, I give one suggestion. So, all the listeners today, they can make the proposal innovation in project-based learning in the primary education. So, whatever they may write in that is the innovation, the new innovations in the teaching field, in the primary section, kindergarten, or school level, like that. So you add one thing, experimental learning, then project-based learning, like that, research-based learning. And student participation is must during their experimentations. Yes, I am correct, madam? Hello, I am audible?
Very much, sir, very much. It's a wonderful. She has written her outline of the paper is perfect. And whatever you are suggesting or I am suggesting, if she adds to that, then we can, after publishing here at Sri Lanka, India, Southeast Asian countries, it can be sent to the, other journals. If there are journals at this level, school level, if some journals are there, then we can do that. That is very good. The paper is good, only that you have to add some more to this in methodology. And then, as sir has told you, then you can write the references also. When you are contacting the people, then you can write the references also. And the conclusion,
You
the
have
way
to
sir
write,
has said.
we
So,
have to write, we have to
yeah.
write more and more objectives also. Objectives are minimum here.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
So if you write objectives, then you have to relate that objective with the conclusions. If you have a less objectives, your conclusion is very less.
Okay.
It is very difficult to conclude your research proposals. So that way,
Yes.
find it.
We want to motivate you. We are suggesting you are going to make an extraordinary paper after these suggestions. Okay, so you have to do
Thank
it.
you,
I'm
Mr.
going to
Sure.
ask you.
You can add one sentence also. How to evaluate the work done by the students. Means you have to add evaluation methods also, whether students are correct or not. To evaluate
Yes,
the
sir. Okay, sir.
to evaluate the students' calibrations or any other identifications. How to identify students correct or not. So that way you have to evaluate how many students are giving correct
Okay,
answer
sir.
after explaining. So you can do that research also.
Yes.
Okay. If there are
Okay,
30
sir.
students in the kindergarten, if 10 students have given the answer correctly, 20 have not given, it means that what is the percentage of your uh, that research that is showing one thing and correcting it. Means
Yes.
you have to
You mean
give
the
the
outcome, sir? The
outcome,
outcome of the, yes.
outcome based education. How many
Okay, sir.
students are really good? So that way means your research
Okay, sir.
methods are your teaching methods are correct if they are finding correct answer. Means you have to motivate them that they will answer it very correctly. So
Okay,
motivational
sir.
answer must be written in the objectives. How to
Now
motivate.
it's answered.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So we are going to conclude the session today. So I would like to thank and very grateful to Dr. Umali sir and also Dr. Rashmi Tyagi sir for giving us a very great knowledge to Sri Lankan teachers. So we would be looking forward another new session, a great session for us in the near future. So thank you so much and namaste for both of
Thank
you, Dr. Rashmi Tyagi ma'am and Dr. Umali sir. Thank you so much and good night.
Good night.
What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end.